Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel and the pod here on Wrestle Launch here on YouTube. I am grateful to be alongside with Paul once again, and I'm also grateful to be announcing the brandest newest member to Wrestle Launch, Jim.
How's it going?
And that is the voice that you'll only hear, and that's the only 5 cents he'll get paid for today. Paul, how you doing? How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing good.
It's been a trying day family wise, but other than that, I'm good, ready to go, ready to talk some fun wrestling stuff here. Definitely glad to have Jim here with us. Definitely think he's going to be a great addition to the show. Going to give us a lot of insight. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm really excited to be here, honestly.
Yeah. And I'm very excited to have all of you here and to the listeners here as well. And I would also like to elaborate here for most people that also like me forgot that Wrestle Launch turned five already. It is now 5 years old, and I'm excited to be still here, kicking it here with Paul and newly Jim. And I would like to shout out alumni members they're not deceased, but they're no longer with the channel. I almost said no longer here with us, but with the channel, like Villanonymous, Macario, Nikki, and Paul. I forgot his name. He was from Germany. Do you remember his name?
No, I don't remember his name because I never got to talk to him.
You're right, and I should have remembered, but he was also part of this at one time, but he never made it onto an official recording. But now we're here excited to break it down. We kick off this recording here live on Sunday, March 29th. So a lot has happened in the last 3 days since SmackDown. Paul, SmackDown was Friday. A lot happened. A lot of finishes were the same for the matches, and I just realized. So how about you throw us a toast on the kickoff of SmackDown?
I guess I'm a little frustrated with it. Well, first of all, the damn show's 3 hours.
Right.
But you start off the show and my gal Alexa gets like bashed. But whatever. And then you get another god awful segment with Rhea and Jade. Absolutely horrible. It was hard to sit through it. And it's not all Rhea's fault. It's not all Jade's fault, I guess, but you added 2 more people on Jade's side and they were talking over each other like they were on an episode of Cops or something, you see on the body cam video shows. It was just it felt very unprofessional. And then the worst thing of all is they did Mello dirty as hell. I'm sorry. He should have went into WrestleMania with that U.S. title. I get you're trying to do something with Sammy, but I'm over Sammy right now. I'm sorry.
Is it one of those like Sammy needs to go away for we to miss you? Because I think if Mello were to go to WrestleMania with the U.S. title and then would face Trick, you'd have elevation for both. It's new, fresh content for them. It's new, fresh content for us on a huger stage.
It's new, fresh content for somebody that didn't see Trick and Mello in NXT. I just think it's a little soon to be pulling the trigger on Trick and Mello. But now, what's the point? You took the title off of him, so unless you're doing a 3-way with Sammy, and then you're putting the title on Trick, and that way he didn't have to beat Mello, maybe, if that's the direction they're going. I don't know. That was, to me, was awful. And then the funniest thing was after Mr. Orton demolished Matt Cardona again. And you see on the screen after the match is over, you see the bus pull up, and here comes Cody. And they go to commercial.
I did not know that.
They go to commercial. Picture in picture, you got to watch Cody walk all the way from the bus to the arena. And to me, that was just dumb enough. But then even more stupid was that Randy stood there and waited for him. Why would you do that?
After
Why?
is he still beating the hell out of Zack Ryder, or is he just?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, I just
Oh
pictured
God,
Randy
yeah.
Orton just, oh look at Cody's coming on the screen, and just standing there watching him.
Well, no, I mean no, yeah, I mean once he was on the screen, yeah, Ryder disappeared. I mean, but I why would the heel stand there and wait for the face to come to him? If you're saying that that's the roles they're in, because people are still cheering Randy.
Right. I feel like there's a dynamic here where it's the opposite. Like, I would like to chime in, like, for the fans want Randy to win in this main event more than they want Cody to, even though the roles are reversed in terms of character and story here.
Right.
And I feel like it's the aspect of Cody is stale for me. And I love Cody. Before I even say, and like I said again, like I love Cody. I'm a huge Cody dude. I was telling Jim I have a giant Cody 2K24 poster, like gigantic. And I feel like
Yeah, it's
him
not the CM
getting
Punk one.
right the many CM Punk ones. And for me, it's like he's gotten the title 3 times in the span of a year and a half, and now 2, I would say, and he hasn't really changed. There's nothing new for him, and he's already fought half the roster and defended the title with. And even with Randy being this story being dragged for 2, almost 3 years, and it's finally happening. And I get you need a heel and a face for this because you can't do face Randy and face Cody at the main event of WrestleMania. You got to have something there, but like the fans were already tired of Cody before this even started, and I was a huge fan of them not having Cody win the Chamber. So I was like, "Oh hell yes, Cody versus Drew. You have your face, you have your heel. You can see Cody and Drew later on in the his title reign and whatnot if he were to win against Drew." I wasn't mad that we would have seen it again because it's been 5 years since we've seen Cody and Drew fight since the pandemic days, and that was a long time ago. I saw a lot of discourse about, oh, we already saw this, but we saw that 5 years ago, half a decade ago. And I just feel bad for Cody a little bit too because the fans, he's over, but they don't really want him to. And I wish the roles were reversed because I would love to see a heel Cody bash a face Randy. It would be something different because we've already seen Randy heel so many times, and I couldn't even count. He's been a babyface, or he's been like a middle since his
Yeah.
return in 23. But like
Right.
we've seen this version of him before. It's nothing new for me. I know the crowd loves it because it's a nostalgia. Nostalgia's one hell of a drug. But for that long run, I don't know. I want Randy to win just so hopefully Cody can get a big break and we don't see him till later. But who knows?
I don't think that'll happen, unfortunately. I would have rather seen Drew and Randy.
Yeah.
I really would have. I think it would have been a better match. You could have had Cody in there still, but against Fatu because Fatu cost him the belt.
Instead of the opposite. And I feel like also remember, don't forget the quote unquote contract said that if Drew won, Cody could not get another title shot. And I know, I guess they squeezed in that, because he screwed him over in the chamber, but it was just
Right.
like, why say that if you're just going to use Drew as a placeholder champion, as Drew, who deserves to be the champion, in my opinion, has been working his butt off in and out for the last 2 years with the Punk rivalry to the Bloodline stuff. He deserved that title, but not in the way he held it. He had one
No.
defense, and it was that one time, and he lost it. So,
Right. No, and what's also been troubling to me here is how many title switches have we seen leading on the road to WrestleMania? You never used to see title changes once you were on the road to WrestleMania.
right.
The U.S. titles changed hands. The tag team title, the SmackDown tag titles have changed hands. You've and now
The
the
IC
the
title,
world
too.
title.
The world title
Yeah.
and the IC title. Yeah, Penta's
Well, yeah, and then you
fresh.
took it from Dom. Yeah, so you never used to see that. Now it's almost like all of them have turned over.
The women's tag,
It's
I don't know if you
strange.
said that too, but the women's tag
Oh yeah, the
champs
women's
too.
well, that's because I don't care for the people that are holding the women's tag titles. Whatever. But I know I've posed this question to you before, um, Sponge, but I want to ask Jim since he's new here, put him on the spot. So, because I'm gonna be transparent and tell you I don't watch. I'll see clips and follow it from reading stuff, but I don't watch AEW. It's just not for me. I don't bash them. I'm not a tribalist thing. It's just it's not for me.
That's it.
So, tell me what the difference is of people hating on Cody now. What happened in AEW? Because the crowd turned on him in AEW too, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
So is it
Absolutely.
similar? Is this similar thing of fatigue, or what? What do you use?
So personally, I saw it mostly as it became like good guy fatigue. It when Cody started everything with AEW, it kind of he was the big name. Most of the people knew him besides Jericho and whatnot. You know, like he was bringing a lot of the knowledge that people are like, oh my God, it's Dusty Rhodes' son. He was in WWE. He's going to do this. He's got his own company. You know, it's kind of the same buzz that Double J got when he did TNA to a degree, you know, because some people didn't like Double J. With Cody, though, he was just different because you know he was Dusty Rhodes' kid, and there's a lot of people, there's a lot of traditionalists out there that really like Dusty Rhodes and what he was doing because he did stuff in WCW and TNA, and obviously a lot of stuff beforehand. And it's Dusty Rhodes. So with Cody, I think a lot of people had these expectations, but then Cody started doing a lot of weird stuff. But personally, I think what really started the downturn was the feud that he had with Anthony Ogogo, which was pretty much America versus the UK feud. That's all it really was. It was weird because a lot of what didn't need to happen and a lot of what Cody did didn't need to be done. So that's personally when I think it started because I don't know, he started being like Homelander, where people were like, because you know he started wearing the jacket and he had the outfit with the tights and everything, and it just became a lot of how he was acting, and I feel like he was starting to push towards a heel turn, but they just didn't want to turn him heel, but he was just going to act like it anyway. But I don't know. Cody, his end run, you could kind of see he went from caring to not caring, and that's where I think the crowd started noticing it, and that's where the fatigue came because he started just jamming everything down people's throats. Same thing with Brandy. She started doing some weird stuff with like that Nightmare Collective and whatnot, and I think it was just pardon the pun, but a collection of things that happened with both of them, and they were just kind of like, you guys just need to. It's like you said earlier with who I think it was Sammy or whomever it was you were mentioning how they had to go
Go
away to
away
make
for a
people
little
miss them.
bit.
That's what really needed to happen, but I think because of how Tony was trying to take AEW in a certain direction, I think Cody was he was done with what they wanted to do entirely. Because I think they grew a lot bigger than he was expecting them to grow in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, I would agree. That's perfectly sums up the Cody fan base turning.
And the crazy thing is they all came right back to him as soon as he went to WWE.
Maybe because it was fresh. Because he did disappear for a bit off TV.
Yeah, he
And then
did. He was gone for I think it was around 4 months or so before he
and then he had
showed up.
posted online. I remember that he was like no longer. He was like at the end of this contract, I'm done. And then he was gone
Yeah.
for like then what? It was January, and then January, February,
Well, he was working
March.
without a contract
Oh,
for
I
a
didn't
little
know
while
that.
there.
Oh,
Yeah. So there's a promo that he cuts where so his podcast that he has now, that what do you want to talk about or something like that, when he cuts a promo in AEW where he starts off saying just that, he's like, what do you want to talk about? When he cuts that promo and beyond, all the way up through the ladder match with Sammy Guevara, he is working without a contract that whole time.
sheesh. Kudos.
So yeah, I mean he put over Sammy. I'll give him credit for
On his
that.
way out, yeah. His last
Yeah,
match was with Sammy, right? That ladder match with the TNT
yeah, that
Championship.
ladder match.
Yep.
Yep,
It was a good match. It was a good
it was.
out. Yeah.
I think that's like the only Battle of the Belts match that actually had a belt change.
Dang, you know what? You just reminded me. There's been so many of those events that.
Yep, and they're dumb.
I think I might have been. I think I might have been to one of those tapings too.
I was at
Now
one.
that you just remembered.
There was one in Chicago. I was at that one. It was
But
dumb.
speaking about dumb things and speaking on SmackDown, Jelly Roll. All right. Oh,
Okay,
let
but
me.
you have okay. You gotta you. The only thing you gotta like is Wade calling it the jelly to belly.
Oh my lord. Oh
It's not
my
even
That
Jelly
lord.
Roll
That's
anymore. It's
fun. It's
that
Jelly
was
Bean.
funny. It's
great.
funny. But
That was great.
I'm a little.
But for him being plastered all over the show, I get where you're going.
But I will with the Kit Wilson match. I will say this: he was cursed by Danhausen beforehand,
Right.
so hilarious. But then I was like, oh, he's fighting Jelly Roll. He's gonna lose because he got cursed. The match itself was okay. Jelly Roll, I don't like his attire. He's not overweight anymore, so like I wish he would wear clothes that fits him. I don't know if it's just like a
The skin.
significant thing. Say again.
He's got excess skin, so that's why he wears the outfit he wears.
I believe it, but I think
Yeah.
he has that money to like. I'm not saying anything but here, but like for me is the attire looks goofy and he's good in the like they trained him decently and I'm sure they're doing like the rehearsals for him because he's new to this and he's not very and I'm excited to see how he grows in this, but like I'm not really enjoying it. His promos are all right and his character doesn't have charisma for me and I don't like that someone like Kit Wilson is losing to a newbie person like Jelly Roll. I'm sorry, country singer or whatnot. I don't know. Like I read that report with him. They're trying to work something for him in Powerhouse Hobbs, which I hope is not true. I don't know if you saw that, Paul, but they're trying to put him together to as a.
Yeah,
I,
I saw that. But if you were going to do that, that should have already been. You should have seen Hobbs on TV.
right, and I don't know. Maybe that
And
was
they haven't.
a thrown in thing to for later down the line or whatnot. But Jelly Rolls and the match was itself was okay. And then even at the end when Cody and Randy are like beefing, why is he there like he's the enforcer of like a management enforcement or a security guard? I don't like every time I see him, I'm like, this looks goofy because now you have Jelly Roll there for no reason. It's like you didn't have Bad Bunny when, what's he to ya and who say was
Well,
beefing in
yeah,
the middle trying to split them up or whatnot.
I'm telling you, he's trying to be peacemaker between the two of them because they're all buddies. And he's been dropped twice by Randy for it. So
I want to know what the plan is here for his future in wrestling. Like, is he gonna stop singing and like Logan Paul stop boxing to fully commit, or is this just for WrestleMania because I don't think he's that big of a name, but he's a name, and TKO will push him, and he loves wrestling, and that's it. But I wonder what the future for him is gonna be.
I,
I think he's a
I
one-off.
yeah, I mean, you did the SummerSlam was okay. If you do this, okay, then again, it's another one. Go away. So Sammy needs to go away. Becky needs to go away. Jelly Roll needs to go away for a while.
You just let off your list of go-aways real quick. You're like,
That's
real quick.
that's my list of go away people. Right after
Well, I mean,
WrestleMania.
look what happened with Ron Killings. He went away after they fired him and had all that thing and whatnot. And like, look at how the crowd reacted. I completely agree with Paul. People have to go away
Man.
sometimes to make the crowd actually miss them because a lot of people didn't realize what y'all had with R-Truth until they fired him, and everyone's like, "What?" And yeah, they brought him back because of that.
I will intervene with there, because it pisses me off what they did with the Ron Killings because
Oh my
I
god!
loved.
Yeah,
Oh, you
they
see, you
should
know
have.
where I'm going. I love
They
when he
should have
came
stayed
back and he
Yeah.
cut his hair and he cut that promo and like, oh shit, we're gonna get NWA early
Yep.
TNA Ron Killings, and then he was R-Truth in
We're
like 2
getting the
weeks.
truth. Yep.
And then he was R-Truth again, and I'm like, are you serious? That really got on me. But on
that was
top
a-
of
Payoff didn't go anywhere.
sad payoffs and sad blows and hurtful blows, Julia took one hell of a blow in her
Oh.
United States Championship match against Tiffany.
Oh. Yeah, I have not seen Tiffy do too many things wrong, but wow. I mean, it started off fine, but then the landing, she just, for a gymnast, she didn't
Crouton.
stick the landing.
Crouton Julia.
Yeah, it's something that Matt Hardy coined because of how old Jeff is now, because of how he does his swanton. Matt Hardy literally coined the term croutoning because when Jeff does the swanton now, he don't do it like he used to when you hit like the shoulders, like you're supposed to. He just lands on the guy. So as Matt puts it, he croutons you. So it's a crouton bomb now.
So
So I can't take the credit for that one.
So, Paul, you've been saying that Kiana James is growing on you, and Kiana costed Tiffany this match. What are your thoughts on what they're gonna do in the future? What it's looking to shape up with in the future of her and Tiffany?
I mean, I think if it was if it is those, putting those two together for a run, I mean, that would be fine with me. But yeah, I mean, I've been impressed with. I wasn't impressed early on what I saw of her when I watched her in NXT, and then I thought, when they first brought her to the main roster, I'm like, well, they just did that to be the mouthpiece for Julia to help her out a little bit, but she's actually, pretty good in the ring, and so I would be fine with that kind of a thing going on, an
Do you
angle.
do you think we'll see her like turn on Julia, take the U.S. title, and then feud with Tiffany, or is that not?
No, I really don't. I really don't. I really don't see the point of Tiffany trying to get the U.S. title. I really don't. I'm not saying that she should, be automatically in the world title picture either, but I just don't see a point to it.
Right. Does she? I don't think she has a direction for Mania, does she? Two more SmackDowns
She
to
does.
go.
Well, no, she doesn't. No, she doesn't.
So
Unless they run it back, her and Julia for the U.S. title. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how
neither.
you would get there. You've only got 2 more weeks,
Right.
so.
I don't even think the writers down there know. So,
Well, maybe if Road Dog would have stayed
Don't tell
around,
them.
we'd have figured something out.
well, speaking about WrestleMania, I did give you guys a little hint about this, but I would like to get your guys' opinions on this. I want to know what you guys think, and why. It is rumored that they're trying to push for a Hell in a Cell match to happen at Mania.
Stupid.
I I
No
I
need.
don't I
Yeah,
don't see what match would work with that of so far off the card.
no, dumb. It's just like somebody else said something about having a. I read somewhere somebody once said, "Let's do a Money in the Bank." No, that's its own pay per view. Just leave it alone. Yes, it would get more people on the show, and because that's a definite 6 people. I think the last one they did. But there's no point for a gimmick match like that. There's no reason. I mean, you could maybe say Fatu and Drew, but they've already went the direction with that, with it being unsanctioned. So
I like that you bring that up because I'm a little disappointed that even before he lost the belt, I told my wife, I said, if they put them together at Mania in a goofy stipulation match, I'm going to be annoyed. And they are doing that. So that's where we are with Drew and Fatu. Because I would have, honestly, hot take here, but I would have preferred a triple threat main event or a fatal 4-way main event. I know that's a lot of men in the main event for that undisputed title, but I feel like you get to throw in more of a different mix, and you get to throw Fatu in his first main event of WrestleMania because he is the younger one of all four of the gentlemen. But because he was feuding with Cody before he was feuding with Drew, but then you kind of just dropped the ball after Drew lost the title, and now they hate each other and whatnot.
So speaking from my background
Right.
as a maintenance guy, I'm just curious: can Allegiant Field even hold a Hell in a Cell from its ceiling?
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. Because if I remember correctly, I forgot what tour it was. They couldn't have the scaffolding in there because the flooring is made out of a different. They're like
Yeah.
construction, and there's weird, right? If I
Yep.
I,
Some places have like an elevated platform, and it's not like fully like it's meant to shift. So like you can't put certain things on it high up because it won't be sturdy enough.
that's a good question.
So like, so I'm looking at it, I looked up where Mania was because I knew it was in Vegas, but I didn't know where they were hosting it. Allegiant Field, apparently, or stadium, whatever, where the Raiders play is apparently where they're going to have it. And if you look at the roof, they're not going to be able to support it. So if they want to have a Hell in a Cell match, they're going to have to build the cell before the match.
Well,
So that's going to take a lot of time away from in-ring action
well,
because they're going to have
well, throw
that'd be a perfect
Danhausen.
space for all the commercials.
Oh,
yeah.
or
For
Danhausen.
Mania, they have commercials,
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Oh
Hmm.
yes.
like actual commercials, or is
Yes.
it just like ads for other shows?
It would both. Like they'll have like their like TurboTax ad, and they'll have wrestlers doing the ads of the ads, and they'll just play them throughout the.
What?
Yeah, they've been more ever since 2023. They started doing. They started first. They started with having the mascots by the ring, and then having the barricade have the logos, and the whole. Or actually, no, the matches will be like this match is sponsored by Progressive, and it's like the ring apron. You know how you the LED boards?
They've
They
done
all say
that.
Progressive and stuff,
Yeah.
and the lights
They
are a
used to do
certain
like a
color
match
and.
graphic.
But no, yeah. Wait till you. They're also pushing ads on like attires too. Like Dominic Mysterio's attire has a Dude Wipes logo on it.
What? Really?
Yeah, right, Paul.
Yeah.
You've seen it before, right?
Yes, they signed the deal with that. Yes, yes.
I mean, I
But
guess to a degree I get it, but like, wow,
I get it. I get it.
dude
I mean,
wipes.
it's no worse. It's no worse than the NBA started doing it on uniforms.
Wait, I thought at one point in time wasn't there a thing where didn't CM Punk have a whole deal where he wanted to try to do that where like he was supposed to it was like a UFC inspired thing and they're like nope, can't do that, and then Brock came out with it and now they're doing
yes.
it with
I do
everybody.
remember him talking about that. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So
Man,
how
the
Well,
hypocrisy.
that's just because they let Brock do whatever the hell he wants. I mean,
I question this now. How long do you guys give it till they have the wrestlers tattoo a sponsor logo on them?
no, they won't go that far with the tattoo.
They already got a wrestler with a sponsor logo. Phil's got Pepsi on him.
I love
But that's not
that.
official.
And Cobra Commander, like, come on, man. Like, boom, you got Mattel and you've got Pepsi. Like, they've already got it.
Any other moving away from SmackDown? Any other remarks for you, Paul, from SmackDown before we head on to?
Oh no, I can't. I can't redo it. I can't go through it again. No.
He says no more SmackDown. So
No mas. No mas.
I would like to add this will be a brand new first for this version. It's been a long time since we've covered anything outside of the wrestling WWE atmosphere, and that's why we're glad to have someone like Jim here now, who is welcoming to every kind of wrestling. We are now going to speak about AEW. I have some 2 cents about the things I enjoy of it, but of what I've seen recently, I am excited for Dynasty for a couple matches that they are promoting for, which would be Kenny and MJF. But
Oh, yes.
without further ado, Jim, this is your segment and this is your moment.
So one thing that a lot of people are going to learn from me is that it's not that I hate WWE. I just prefer not to watch it. So I will try to find other promotions that I enjoy. I weekly do try to catch, at the very least, Dynamite and Collision from AEW. I also will watch TNA's Impact. So when it comes down to it, a lot of people have a lot of critiques for AEW. I personally have my own critiques, but at the end of the day, it's wrestling, and I just feel like people need to enjoy wrestling because there's way too much tribalism in wrestling, because it's the whole point to wrestling is everybody enjoying things and getting along because it is wrestling. Too many of us got picked on as kids for this great sport for people to be butting heads over WWE or AEW. WWF and WCW back in the day were a little bit different personally, but so as Sponge said, he's excited for the Kenny Omega MJF thing. There's currently a feud that was going on between Swerve and Kenny. I know that he's excited to talk about his opinions on that. I'm just enjoying the fact that Swerve is getting a spotlight. He is a fantastic wrestler. The amount of things that I have seen him do over the years, just between starting with AEW and working with Keith Lee and everything that he did with that, which Keith Lee is another person that I want to talk about at some point in time because he's had a lot of weird luck. But as far as Dynamite and Collision goes, there are a lot of things that are just popping off in AEW. With what they're doing in storylines, a lot of what they're trying to set up for Dynasty, interesting setups for the women's championship match that's going on with Tekla and how they're trying to angle everything with Tony Storm. I'm really just interested what's going on there. Something I wanted to talk about too, because it was the main event on Dynamite, which a lot of people were questioning with Roosh and Darby Allin, the no count out match, which there's reasons that I want to say that made sense to be the main event because it's a no count out. They're supposed to be able to have as much time as they want outside the ring, et cetera, and so on. But I'm actually just very curious because I don't get the opportunity to talk other people when it comes to wrestling at all for AEW, even if they do watch it or don't watch it weekly like I do. I'm always curious to see what people have to say about both the matches, what they're interested in, why it excites them, what turns them off from it, and what I'm interested to be able to explain to them why it kind of is a little goofy to them. So I'm just very curious now to see what your take is on Swerve and Kenny Sponge.
For me, I'm not too crazily familiar, but for me, when it comes to in-ring ability, Swerve, local Tacoma, Washington, mother person now.
Oh,
For
yeah.
Kenny, like for me, like I know Paul referenced this earlier when I was talking about Kenny and MJF. I wish. I mean, it's not even his fault. It's not our fault that he has all these injuries. That he's no longer the same Kenny he was. We all get older.
Yep.
I haven't been close enough to seeing interest in sort of the feud itself, but when it comes to matches, those men are good with each other. They're not wrestling soulmates, but
Absolutely.
they can put on a great match. And I enjoyed this match with them. I had me a little. I was low key a little scared that Swerve was gonna win, only because he has had the AEW title recently. Now I know it's not too recent, but he is the more recent one
Recent
of the
enough.
two. And Kenny's last AEW title reign was during the pandemic, and
Yep.
it's been a long time. And this MJF World Champion is a different MJF than the last time he was World Champion, and I'm
Absolutely.
excited to see these two in the ring. I don't think we have seen them in two in the ring correctly, if I'm right, because I don't have a memory of
No,
them ever having a
they've
one-on-one
faced it.
rival.
They have.
Oh, all right. Maybe it wasn't.
Yep.
It's just different because they're different now. They're not the same that they were
Yeah.
years ago. MJF's more matured and more
Mhm.
over and a good champion. And Kenny, I just the only thing that gets him is that the injury. So there's limitations for those things. But
Yeah.
I'm really
That's
excited
absolutely what it is.
but again, I wasn't really excited with their promo they had because I feel like Kenny still lacks in promo. I when I
Yeah.
watched it, it was a little rough watching him and go there, but MJF can carry and that's good. I'm just excited for that match because I know it's gonna be gold. You cannot have a
Absolutely going to
bad
be
match
something.
with Kenny or a bad match with MJF.
The match that they had before was when MJF was the champion before. When he was champion the last time, right about the time that MJF hit Omega's time as champion, like his length of time, they had a match like
Ah, I
the night
remember.
before.
Yes,
And that was like right before Kenny left for his diverticulitis stuff. So
yes,
that
I
was not
remember.
peak Kenny Omega. So and I agree with you. It's going to be a totally different match because these people are completely different wrestlers than what they used to be. Same with Swerve. Like even though Swerve and Kenny had their match the way they did, and honestly, like that match went the way it should have gone. I personally, I understand why it went on first, but at the same time, I don't think it should have been first. But Swerve is also a different wrestler than what he used to be, and Swerve and Kenny they've faced each other many
Right, and I feel like
many times.
every time I see Swerve in the ring, I say I can't believe they dropped the ball over on the other side of Swerve and
God,
what
I
he's
don't
potential. Like he's evolved so much, it's so good and insane, and it's
I don't even
great.
understand how they could have, that I just how could they have let him go? He's actually, I will agree with you when it comes to the promos. Kenny, eh, he there's moments. He's got his moments, right? He knows how to hype up a crowd and he's really good with the crowd and stuff. So sure, like the I bid you adieu, whatever. The crowd love that, especially in Japan. But when it comes to promo battles and talking back and forth, for some reason, he's got this weird thing where if a funny to him comment comes to his mind, he's going to just say it off the cuff while somebody else is talking. And it drives me nuts because like 90% of the time it's just something that only he finds funny or only some of his friends probably know about. So like it's just like it doesn't add to the promo.
Right,
Doesn't add to the segment, doesn't add to whatever's going on. Doesn't even add to the feud. It's just Kenny being funny, trying to pop the boys. And it's just kind of like, okay, buddy, this not the click, this not 90s, like stop. So I like Kenny. I'm a fan of Kenny. I always have been back before. Some quick lore. At one point in time, I was a professional wrestler. When I got injured, there was a lot of dark time for me. So I stopped being a part of wrestling because of a lot of things going on that turned me off from it. About 2009 is when it turned me off. About the time that I stopped watching wrestling, Kenny was getting big on the indies. So like I got to see a lot of what he did then. So when I came back to wrestling and found out that he's the cleaner and he's the god of professional wrestling, I was actually really excited. I
you
was
know what?
really happy because about 10 years difference.
That's also cool that you mentioned that because when I found out Kenny, I was to this 2015, he was the cleaner. So that's how
Yep.
and I enjoyed his time in New Japan, and so on and so on.
Oh yeah, the cleaner was fun to catch up on because I came back to wrestling when I found out about AEW, and it's not because AEW is better or blah blah blah. Like AEW has their faults just as much, just as everything does. My personal problem was at one point in time WWE had a monopoly on everything, and if you mentioned that you were a wrestling fan, people immediately said WWE. And coming up when I was a kid, my grandfather had me trained and taught that professional wrestling had territories and you could be a bad guy in one territory and a good guy in this territory, and the crowd didn't even know about the other territory, and that's what made the magic of wrestling great. And to me, because of the monopoly, the purchasing, and having to do everything the way they did, making their own whatever, WWE lost that magic for me. So I stopped watching wrestling because it stopped being magical. And then AEW came back, and I just kind of found out how it came about because of All In, and it was the magic again. That's where it came back to me. So that's where I started paying attention to wrestling and getting really back into it. And Kenny, at that point in time, was really kind of coming back down from being the cleaner, and I think at that point is when he was the god of professional wrestling. Because that was when he was feuding with Jericho, and he had all this other stuff going on in New Japan because he was doing the transfer, and it was fun to catch up on everything that happened because he really did develop in those indies. And now I'm seeing everything that I remember seeing as a younger kid and as an adult, going, wow, he did it. He did exactly what he said he was going to do, and it was good to see. It was fun to see, and the cleaner thing was just, yeah, it made me fall even deeper into love with wrestling.
And to keep it on that AEW route here, Edge and Christian, or sorry, Cope and Christian,
Yeah,
CNC are now going after FTR. Of course, FTR
beautiful.
turned on Cope and put
Hope.
away
Yep.
Christian. So the last time we had seen them, what is your takes on this?
I enjoy it.
I'm excited because this is the match that if they were both cleared at the same time, they were over on the WWE. I would have still loved to see the Revival versus Edge and Christian. I am excited to see FTR because they are one of the greatest tag team professional wrestlers of all time. And Edge and Christian
Absolutely.
are up there, but it's been years since we've seen them in a tag team
Yeah.
match together. So, what's your thoughts and takes on that?
Um, I see Cope and Christian going up against FTR as what we could have had if Jeff wouldn't have messed up with the Hardys. Um, there were a lot of murmurings about the Hardys and Christian and Edge doing their thing and whatever. And personally, because for me, that was when I grew up, and as a kid that became a professional wrestler, I became a professional wrestler because of the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys. All their matches is really what made me go, "That's it. That's what I want to do." Before then, I was sold on being a wrestler, but it was after watching those matches and witnessing everything that made me go, "That's it. There's no other option." And when Jeff and Matt came to AEW, I was excited. I still think it's funny that Jeff danced to the ring as Matt's getting attacked.
He's getting beat up, and Jeff's like,
Yep.
dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that was
I'm
funny.
a Hardy fan. Still think it's hilarious to this day. And it was funny because Matt's wife even posted about how funny it is. Like, my husband's getting beat up and his brother's dancing. It was so funny. But anyway, but Jeff, of course, he's got his demons, and I'm never going to fault him for his because I've had my own. It's a really hard road. It's not exactly easy. You know, once you get back on the straight and narrow, it's not easy to stay that way because there are so many things that come up. So Jeff has obviously gone down his own, and he made that hard. He made that a difficult thing, and now Matt and Jeff are doing their own thing in TNA, which if you give me the opportunity in a little while, I might mention that too. But with Christian and Cope being in AEW, I get to still kind of have that little bit of nostalgia run that I could have had with the Hardys.
Right.
And it's even better that it's with FTR because I'm an FTR fan. I like those guys. Like they're for me growing up, I was a Wrecking Crew fan. Okay. I liked Arn Anderson. I liked Tully Blanchard. I was a Four Horsemen fan because my grandfather was really into the Flair and whatnot. So when the Minnesota Wrecking Crew came around, oh man, and that's who the FTR remind me of. Them and the Briscoes. That's who they remind me of. Not Jay and Mark, but Jerry.
Yes.
Jack and Jerry. Yeah. So it's one of those. This is my okay. I don't get to have the Hardys and Edge and Cope, but I do get to have Edge and Cope versus what my equivalent of the Briscoes is. So I'm like, this is even better. So I'm down for it. I want to see it. That and seeing Beth come down and getting Spike pile driven, even better. She is a phenomenal athlete when it comes to anything wrestling, not even just women's wrestling. I've always been a fan of the Glamazon. And yeah, just to see her come down and even just get what she got in, and yeah, it's like, yes, Beth Phoenix, woo! You know, like I had my little 19-year-old heart was just excited. So I had fun.
And would you like to elaborate for Collision? You would like to add things on that you like with Ciampa and
yeah. So a lot of people have been giving the Tommaso Ciampa run already in AEW a weird review because he came in, won the TNT title, and then he already lost it after like 3 or some weeks. But now he turned on Mark Briscoe, and he's been doing this thing. He had a match against Ace Austin. I'm just anybody that's listening, if you aren't, go watch this match on Collision. If you're not already watching Collision, go watch this match between Tommaso Ciampa and Ace Austin just because of what they're able to do. Ace Austin, that kid, he's not even a kid, but you know what I mean? Like for me, he's a kid because he's younger than me. But that dude, I don't know what it is about him, but like he is very impressive. I'm a fan of Juice Robinson too. Personally, I think his rock hard is the reason why Tony Storm is not here. But as far as Austin and Tommaso goes, again, if you guys want to actually watch a good match, go ahead and check that out. You actually get to see how instead of a wrestler waiting for someone to hit them while he's waiting for it, you know, how like you guys were complaining about Cody and Randy, Tommaso Ciampa is in the corner and Juice Robinson is like tending to Ace. And just as Tommaso's about to attack, Juice turns around like, yeah, I know you're there, dumbass. Like personally for me, that was like, I like that they're not making it seem like people are just stupid. Because a lot of times in those segments, them and referees are just dumb and it drives me nuts. There also was a match with Johnny TV and Myron Reed, who finally got to see some action in AEW, which I was happy to see because I don't really know much about the Rascals. They spent most of their time in TNA or some of them were in WWE, so I don't know a lot about them. So I actually got to see some of the action from them. Really happy about that. Really genuinely happy to see him get some action. And I think he got the win too. So it was just, I don't know, it was a good one. The tag team match with Mina Shirakawa and the Brawling Birds was a little weird because I think it was mainly just an opportunity for them to have a promo, so they just put them out there for a match. So I think it was a time waster. But I did hear something that made me kind of scared a bit from another tag match, but I was going to mention the Private Party and the Death Riders match because I don't know what they're doing with Private Party. I don't know why they bring them back at the pay-per-view just to have them lose for a few matches. So that one, very confused about that because I love Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn. I think those guys are phenomenal. I think it's Isaiah Cassidy who, when Keith Lee came in, he tossed him and he screamed. And I love the scream. It makes me pop every time. He literally throws him across the ring and Isaiah Cassidy is, and he just flies. And it just, I love when he does stuff like that. His little scream just, it pops me every time. But in the Rascals Don Callis family match, which for me it was honestly just it was the Rascals against United Empire because it was Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. So I guess technically Aussie Open, but they're still United Empire in my mind. From what I heard on What Culture today, it sounds like Kyle Fletcher left the event in a boot, so he seems to have gotten injured. So I'm kind of worried about that because Kyle Fletcher is on the run of his life.
Right. He is the upcoming new star that AEW is grooming to be the big one from that company. And
yeah,
when you take when you take away a component, you're like losing,
especially when you lose a leg.
Yes.
Literally a leg. So I'm worried about that. I'm not going to lie, especially for Dynasty and what's coming up. I'm worried about that, but I kind of hope that they can figure something out because I don't want to see him hurt.
In general, and it's a speedy thing, and it's just like them being very cautious because he is a very worthy and he's important. He's a very important character in the company.
Absolutely, and I will say too one thing that a lot of people are going to learn about me is I use CageMatch.net all the time. I love the fact that they have all the information on there, and I just want to point out real quick that at both Dynamite and Collision in dark matches, Sting's son Stephen Borden had matches.
You know what's funny? In fact, he made his in-ring debut out here in Defy.
Yep, he
And
did.
that's such a I think that's so fun. I'm excited to see how his career the genes of Sting are insane. He looks just like Sting when he was younger.
He
It's
does.
insane.
He wrestles just like him too.
Right, and he's good. He got the physique, he got the everything,
Mhm.
and I'm excited to see what he does for his future. But since you mentioned injuries, and Paul, if you caught this live, Paul, I don't know if you got it live, but another injury that happened on the other company was Nikki Bella. What they've reported that she has been hurt in that tag match that she was in with.
Okay, so we all know my love for the Bellas.
That sounds
Sarcasm,
sarcastic.
Jim. Sarcasm
Yeah.
as hell. And but the opposite, I do not wish anybody to ever get hurt. But maybe that's a sign that you shouldn't have been back anyway. I don't
Weren't
know
they taking
anybody.
time off or something too? Like they've
I
been off for
don't
a while.
know. Well, they retired. They
That
got
okay.
Oh yeah,
they
this
got
will
into the
yeah
Hall of Fame
the Hall of
and
Fame.
retired. You know, their contract ran out and they didn't resign, and they went and tried to do their own little thing.
And then
And
they shut
more
on the
power to
business.
them.
Remember? Don't forget, they shut on the company and came back.
Not as bad as Rousey, but yeah.
Yeah.
So have they addressed the laryngitis thing with them, or have they just pretended that's not happening?
No, they just pretended it never happened.
Shocker.
Well, like everything else that was involved with Vince, there you just kind of sweep that under the rug and let it go. But no, I mean, I hopefully this will. I read something that said that they signed for 2 years when the other one came back all of a sudden. So I'm like, ugh. But again, I don't wish anybody any harm. I don't know that anybody was really clamoring for one more run of the Bellas. I just, I don't know. It's that time that they were huge was the Divas era, and those ladies, while they did what they did, to me they just do not they can't even hold a candle to what the women are doing now in any company. So I don't know. I have no need for the Bellas, unfortunately. But I wish her a speedy recovery, whatever it may be.
And for Jim, I know for TNA, you did catch live a scary
Oh,
moment injury in the main event.
Jesus. Yeah. Ironically, um, Sponge and I were talking that night while I was watching Sacrifice, and something I actually just happened to catch because we stopped talking like right as it happened. It was the Santana Macklin match, and they were going back and forth, and they were going through a rope spot, and Santana came back with a boot to Macklin's face, and just he crumpled, just went down immediately. His arm even seized, like he was out. From what I have found out through, and again, most of what I find is it's not like I have all these sources and stuff. I watch What Culture and Cultaholic, so like a lot of my sources there. So from what I found out this morning is it sounds like he doesn't have a concussion, so he just blatantly got knocked the hell out. And I just want to say something. The referee was Alice Lane, I think is what her name is. She stopped it immediately. There was no work punches, there was no kicks, there was nothing that happened. Like she saw it happen and immediately stopped Santana from doing much more. I mean, like after the hit, Santana went for a pop from the crowd, but then he went to go after him, and immediately she was like, nope, something's wrong. And I got to give a lot of props to her. I know that I believe it was Mustafa Ali. He tweeted about how she was a great person or something for it, or like big props to her or something along those lines, or thank you for keeping us safe or something, called it MVP, something along those lines. But uh, I want to make sure that those flowers are given, because we just recently in OVW saw something really bad happen to a referee. So when you see something like that happen to Macklin and people actually step up like she did, it's great to see. Do you guys know the incident in OVW?
Yes, I did catch that on video. It was a scary video to even see. I
Yeah.
remember when I saw the story, I was like, "Holy!" And then I saw the video, I'm like, "Oh Jesus!"
Yeah, the video made it even worse.
Right, and I'm glad that the referee is okay and all that. But man, I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't. I don't have any experience, but like, do they not have protocols in case the referee has
absolutely they do.
like? I feel like the match kept going and it took a minute for them to realize something. But like, I'm glad it got handled. But it just, I don't know. It didn't
It's
look.
still scary.
Yes, very.
I mean, in my day, so something that people will learn about me is I was trained at OVW. When I was coming up in wrestling, I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna ever make it to WWE, I'm gonna go to OVW. So that's where I trained. So watching that event happen at a place that was my alma mater, knowing full well that they do like not alma mater, but you know what I mean, knowing full well that they do have uh operations in place for stuff like that to happen. You know, they have a standard operating procedure of, well, if the ref goes down, this person comes in, and it just seems like everybody failed. So when you watch that happen in OVW a few weeks ago, and then you watch Alice Lane pop in when Macklin happened, obviously she was paying attention to what happened in OVW. So that's just a big props to her. And a lot of people can learn from what she did because they need to pay attention to stuff like that, because there are a lot of instances, especially on the indies, where people do not pay attention. So, especially since she's on a grand stage like that, that's even better that she knocked it out of the park. But Fletcher's match, I remember when his possible injury happened, and it was something similar as well. The referee kept him out. I don't know what happened with the Bella twins, since I don't personally watch. I don't go out of my way to watch WWE or Raw, but if somebody sends me something, I'll watch it. Why did I say WWE or Raw? You know what I mean? SmackDown or Raw. But it always comes down to whether or not the referee knows the procedure too, because there's times where referees will get knocked and there will actually be something happen. I mean, I've seen it where they get a hit and they get loopy and they're trying to stay in, and like other people are trying to be like, no, there's something wrong. Like, you literally can't move your left side of your face, and you have to have that professionalism to remind yourself, like, yo, like, there's something wrong. Do something. It doesn't matter if there's a show still going on. Kind of like I was very young when it happened. Well, not very, but I remember when Owen Hart passed. Watching that pay-per-view live, the way they cut back and like just the way the tone changed. I remember that should not have gone on. And since then, things have changed a lot. But that OVW thing really flashed me back to Owen Hart, and I never want to see that ever in wrestling, because we have come so far. So I just, again, wanted to make sure that she got her flowers for that.
Right. And speaking about other scares in wrestling, I'm sure you guys all saw, and I would like to get the reaction, but my opinion is it's crazy that this happened and someone tried doing this, or they did.
They
A
did it.
fan stabbed a wrestler at Ruthless Pro Wrestling Omega event, and the entire locker room basically obliterated this guy. But the fact that someone went into this venue with the intentions of causing a real harm to one of the characters of this show is absolutely disgusting and insane.
I did find something about an update about it, like about what actually happened.
Right, let's
hear
it. Let's hear it.
So it happened Saturday night, March 28th at Ruthless Pro Wrestling's event in Berwyn, Illinois, right after a defense of a title, a masked Kruger, or I'm sorry, Cruel, Powerhouse Cruel, in a brutal last man standing match. Right after, literally, he's walking from the back. Eyewitnesses say a fan who had been in trouble all night pinned Cruel down, stabbed him in the lower right abdomen, prompting wrestlers, including the title defender Slack, to swarm and eject the bloodied attacker. Cruel posted Sunday that he's fine, patched up on site with no hospital visit, though an anonymous attendee questioned the knife claim amid no police reports or arrests.
Jesus.
It does sound like also Lou Nixon sat down with Tom Campbell from Cultaholic, which was a guy that was one of the eyewitness events reporters.
So not to make light of this, but what was Seth Rollins doing there?
Oh my Lord. Oh. Well,
he gets around. I wouldn't be. I mean, he's from Iowa. It's not that far from Iowa, is Illinois.
No, that's absolutely ridiculous. And for whether, it's just, that's the kind of, besides the prices keeping me away from going to live events now, to certain places, it's some of the people that you encounter at these places that keep me away as well. Every time I remember going, I was like, I would always say to myself, okay, I'm not coming back for a while. And then I would like get the itch and say, all right, I'm going. And then I'd get there and I'd see some of these people and I was just like, oh, they make us look so bad. They really do.
Especially like the ones that they just don't get it.
No.
I'll be standing in line walking into a venue. And so I live fairly close to Minneapolis. Having lived in Minneapolis, if there's a show in Minneapolis, I'm going to go. Unfortunately, I didn't go to the one that was just this past Wednesday because I had appointments and stuff. I was really torn there because it was either Black Label Society or AEW Dynamite, but instead I had to take my health. So be that what it may. I'm okay though. We're good. Yeah, it was so bad. They were in town, and from what I understand, they debuted a new song for Ozzy at that show. So I'm like really kicking myself. Like, but anyway, typically that's where I'll go, and we'll be going inside, and people will be like talking about people at the show and whatever. And there's literally the last match or the last show that I went to was last March 2025, where they were in St. Paul, and I had a guy walking in next to me asking me if I thought Randy Orton was going to show up.
What?
And I'm like, bro, this is AEW.
What?
And he's just like, yeah, but like he could show up. And I'm like, no, man, Randy Orton is like as WWE as they come, bro. Like he's third generation WWE even. Right. Like his dad and grandfather both worked for WWE. He ain't going to be in AEW. Like he's got as much chance of showing up in AEW as Vince McMahon. Like it ain't happening.
So
that stuff is what drives me nuts because it's not just Randy Orton. Like it's so many people that'll drop down the list, and it's like, dude, could you say anybody even more? Like Undertaker, Shane McMahon. I don't think Shane McMahon's ever gonna actually pop up in AEW. He might do something for him, make an appearance possibly, but he's never gonna actually be signed by AEW. I just want to say that right now.
Right.
And he's a McMahon. Like no.
Yep, that's the kind of people I try to avoid.
You know,
oh my god!
And I'm telling you,
I'm glad that I've never encountered someone like that. I didn't even know that existed still, which is crazy.
Dude, I had an Eddie Kingston shirt on, and that's where he started talking about Randy Orton. I don't know how.
Connection? How did he even get that connection?
Exactly. He was like, "Oh, you like Eddie Kingston, huh? I hope Randy Orton shows up." Like, man, what?
I can't believe, Sponge, all this time you haven't run into somebody like that.
You're
lucky.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
you need to be buying lottery tickets.
When you said Randy Orton, I was just like in disbelief. God, I don't know. I guess I'm like.
Imagine my disbelief, man. Like I'm just like, and I had to try to be nice because like I don't know what was going on with this guy, but I'm like I'm not gonna be mean because like I don't want him to like find me after the show. So I tried to be really nice because like people do that, man. Like so I'm a Packers fan, right? I've been to Chicago for games. They can get crazy. So I've seen it. I grew up in the 90s, man. I'm an 80s kid. I grew up in the 90s. I've seen some stuff, right? I've seen fights happen. I've seen all kinds of stuff. I've been in mosh pits. Like I know stuff happens. So I'm like, I'm not going to say nothing mean because like this guy could be hiding something I don't know.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, maybe Randy Orton will show up. Maybe even Bob Orton, maybe Senior will show up. And he's just like, yeah. And I'm like, bro, he's dead.
You're hyping all these people up that are alive. I was like,
yeah. I'm like, who might show up? I was like, who could show up? And he's like, what? I'm like, Yokozuna.
Oh, don't tell it to the Saudis.
That's the Saudis. That's yeah.
I know. I had just read that story not long before that too. So I was just like, yeah, Yokozuna, sure. Yeah, he's gonna show up. You can get Zilla Fatu and dress him up and maybe they'll believe it.
Jesus.
The what year was that Extreme Rules that I went to?
2022, Paul. 2022.
22. Okay. So 2022 is the last time I went to a live event. And I ended up, luckily, my buddy that I was going with, his wife is some kind of head honcho at Nationwide or insurance.
On your side, sorry.
And that's a good spot for a sponsor.
Really.
But she was able to get us tickets in the Nationwide suite at the arena, and after being there for that, I do not want to sit with anybody else. I want to be in the box, in the suite, because they brought me the food. I had a bathroom there. I didn't have to worry about going to a bathroom that's a goddamn mess because the people are pigs.
Did they have the show on in the bathroom?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But it was so nice, and I don't think I can go back to going the other way. And
I
then
can't blame you.
I agree. Yeah.
now
'Cause
it's too much.
I did something similar at a Raw event at the I think it's Target Center in Minneapolis. Yeah.
Yep.
I was in the Land O'Lakes suite because of a family member, and it was the same thing. It was really cool because when the lights go out in the arena, because I got to see Taker live, when the lights go out in the arena, the suite lights go out too.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But yeah, that one though, in that one, like when you go to the bathroom, like they have the show on, like on
Inside
a
the
TV.
bathroom.
Yeah, so you could like watch it while you're going to the bathroom. You don't get to miss anything. I'm like, that's awesome. Like I was geeking. Like, and at that point, I wasn't even watching wrestling. I think it was like 2000 and maybe 14, 15. So I wasn't even watching WWE, and I was just like, I'm gonna go to the show because someone offered it, and it was really cool. So I agree with you. Those boxes are awesome, especially when they bring you the food. They bring you a food and a beer, and you're like, oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah, it was never ending drinks and food. They just kept bringing it throughout the night, and it was awesome.
Didn't have to ask. They see it's empty, and they just bring it to you.
Paul
Yeah.
got so excited with all those drinks, he forgot how bad that finish was.
Oh, I
Which
was
Extreme
waiting
Rules was
for
that?
you. I was waiting for you to do that.
Oh,
The one with
Jim, do you-
Roman and
Finn
the
Balor.
demon Finn Balor.
Oh yeah, is that the red cage
Yeah.
one?
No.
No.
Oh, are you ready
No.
for this? So they fought in an Extreme Rules match. It's the Demon. The Demon had Roman Reigns numbered, and Paul's favorite moment was coming up, right? But he's about to one, two,
wait.
three him, and the rope break for no reason.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, that's the one that. Okay, was that an actual manufactured rope break or was that a shoot rope break?
They never peeped
That
it
was the
ever again.
finish. Yeah.
Never. They never even referenced it. They never ever explained it. They never said like Paul Heyman loosened the turnbuckle or some stuff. Never.
It just so then it must have been shoot then because they usually explain it if it was kayfabe. Because they've done that if they do like a worked corner or like they do a worked ring or something like that. There's always a story like when Big Show and was it Lesnar?
That was definitely a work. I only say this because the way he landed and it was perfectly calculated. And then he did his finisher spear and then it was over and it was like, what the heck did we just watch?
So like he intentionally so what you're saying by it was a work when Balor went to do so he planted his feet obviously and the turnbuckle broke.
He didn't even go all the way up. It just went poof, and then just like fell apart and then Roman Reigns went for the double rope run and then spear and 1, 2, 3.
Okay. I can't remember who it was, but there was a match with Daniel Bryan for you guys, Brian Danielson to me, but he did a match where they had a turnbuckle break like that, and the guy literally like he goes to plant and he just crushes. But they finished the match, but he face plants because the turnbuckle actually broke.
I'm blanking on that match, but the most recent one I can remember, but this is not even recent because Lashley. I know the rope broke when Lashley. At a live event in WWE, Lashley's rope broke. He went and it snapped and he fell out the ring.
Yep. Because he went to plant or something and it just snapped and he went out.
Yeah.
Or my favorite though, when that happened, wasn't even a rope break. It was when it was I think right when NXT started, when they first started doing stuff, and they had like the NXT wrestlers with a wrestler, which was when apparently Daniel Bryan was a fucking rookie after being in wrestling for over a decade and a half. But I can't remember who it was, but somebody was coming out with Matt Hardy. When Matt went up to do his version 1 thing, like the dude pushed on the rope, so Matt just tumbled over. Yeah.
That's hilarious. That was a funny little thing, but
I remember seeing that one.
But we have officially hit the 1 hour past mark. But I will not to end things on anything. If you guys want to throw anything in there, but I do have this one thing that might get Paul stirred up a little bit, and me stirred up is that there's 2 more Raws, 2 more SmackDowns before the big show, and there's still no for the guy that retired Goldberg, John Cena, and AJ Styles. There is still no direction for Gunther / Walter for Mania. And there was a guy, not a guy, but Bully Ray, who you may know as Bubba Ray from the folk show.
Oh, jeez.
Said, oh, yeah, Paul, I knew I was going to get him stirred up. Suggested to the world that if Gunther has no plans, that he should just have an open challenge at WrestleMania where the stipulation is that if he were to win, they retire. I think that is the goofiest thing on the planet in terms of outside of actual goofy things because it's like if you want to answer that open challenge, then you just want to retire, and that's what it. But what is your guys' opinions on the guy that's retired 3 major stars, having no plan so far at Mania, and also on that Bully Ray suggestion that was a little goofy.
I'll
Well,
let Paul go first as he watches.
okay. First of all, normally I can follow and see the logic that Bully Ray speaks. But this is just asinine. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I mean, it's just don't try to pigeonhole something in here. Just let it be. Unfortunate that he's getting left off the card, it looks like, but just let it go. I mean, yeah, I would rather see him on the card, but at this point, what would he do? And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. They need to pump the brake on him retiring people. They did the AJ and Cena way too close to each other. And they shouldn't have done that. I know they were talking, there was talk of AJ going all the way to Mania with Gunther, but that didn't work out because AJ made the call. He wanted to be out at the Rumble, which is where he debuted. Made sense. And then they talked about Ray, but Ray gets hurt every time he shows back up, which is time for Ray to retire, enjoy the rest of his life. But again, it's cliche, but I would rather see Dom retire Ray instead of Gunther. There's no story.
Down to say that.
There's no story with Gunther trying to retire Ray. There's an automatic built-in story for Dom to retire him,
Absolutely. I will admit that so I know of Gunther as Walter, obviously. I agree as far as the story goes. Now, obviously, I don't watch WWE regularly, but I do keep up with it as much as I can because I do watch recap shows and there's Twitter. I'm not blind. I see stuff that comes up all the time. Social media has everything that you could possibly want if you don't actually want to watch the show, which I don't. So it kind of makes sense for maybe one or two, but the fact that he's retired 3 people, a retirement angle only makes like a retirement only match, whatever, only makes sense if it's Bully Ray that comes out, not Bubba Ray, but Bully Ray. Because at that point, Bully Ray, first of all, he's basically retired. It's just he acts like him on his little podcast thing. But Bully Ray specifically is essentially retired because now that he's back in the WWE bubble, WWE has this whole anti-bullying thing. So he's not Bully Ray with WWE. He's Bubba Ray. So if it's going to be one of those things, Bully Ray from TNA needs to come out, and that would be the only way that would make sense for Gunther at all, honestly.
So you think he was pitching for his own match, is what you're saying?
Yes, 100%. Well, that's what he does. Let's be real here. That's what he does. He did the same thing in TNA. He brought Devon back. Like he literally trained Devon just to come back for that match. Like, come on,
for the Hardy match, yeah.
Yeah, which is like a Hardy fan. I it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't a bad match. You know what I mean? For their age, they did really well. Matt and Jeff really did a very good job of carrying them. But I just think as far as Gunther goes, like if he's going to have a match at WrestleMania, it needs to have a decent story that makes sense. They can't just throw a bunch of shit at a board and think that it's going to work. So I agree with Paul. Like you can't just throw it at whatever's going on. Like he's got to have a story. It's got to make sense because you can't just have him retiring people because what are you doing? I think they got scared because they had Sting and Bryan Danielson retire closely in AEW. Sorry to cut you off, but like they had that happen closely in AEW, and I think WWE got scared. So they're like, we're gonna just have him retire people. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but you can't make that his whole character. It makes him one-dimensional. Yeah, and it just
what else has he got?
Right. Yeah, every time he faces somebody, well, this guy is going to retire. He must be retiring. No, it's a match.
Well, what kind of ring general retires people?
Yeah.
Like that's not a ring general. Ring general is somebody who commands their presence in the ring, makes people better. And if he's just out there retiring people, he's not making anyone better because how is he giving anybody a rub? He's getting the rub. And where is that rub going? If he's not going to win a world championship back, he's not going to, get a WWE championship or whatever the hell it is that Cody and them are going after. Like,
I believe the struggle is still there. That the stain of them having Jey Uso beat him so easily and so fast in Masters Mania is still the biggest stain that will piss me the hell off because
didn't he choke him out?
Yeah, look, he did. Jay did his Gunther submission and he tapped out in the first 2 seconds. And I don't think
He
that
tapped out like
recovery
Cena
is there.
tapped out.
Say again.
He tapped out like Cena did.
Yeah.
Like,
no. Like the way
This was
Cena,
much faster.
this was like as soon as Jay put the arm, tap immediately. It wasn't like time. Like that's the thing. Like you buried Gunther, this giant 6'5" monster champion for a dude that just yells "yeet" and is all right in the ring and can't even cut a good promo.
Do you think that him tapping so fast was his shoot protest of?
I
just wanted to get out of there,
100%
yeah.
yes, I 100% believe he was not going to hold a submission for Jey Uso because no way in so you're going to tell me by this logic the guy that retired Cena, Jey Uso can retire Cena and Goldberg and AJ Styles? I don't think so.
So my question with retiring Goldberg is like, what was the build up to that? Because I saw that, but I don't understand
year-
what the point.
He just Goldberg wanted one more match. That's all it was.
Gunther was it.
Yeah,
And
and the year previous at Bad Blood, he did.
It makes no sense.
He heckled.
Like, okay, so Shawn Michaels retiring Ric Flair made sense. Okay, they granted they didn't have exactly a history, but they built a story up to it that made sense. Even though Flair didn't stay retired, but we don't need to go there. But
yeah, don't go there.
Yeah, Paul.
The point is when there's a retirement match, that's what you need to do. So, like, now this is where I'm going to sing AEW's praises because they let Sting go out on a high note. I am a Sting mark, bro. Like, you don't even. First of all, my daughter was born the night of Sting's retirement match. Like, I'm not even kidding. She was born an hour before Revolution that night that he was retiring. So like that will forever be cemented in my heart and my mind because I'm a Sting fan, always have been. My grandfather loved Sting, except for the RoboCop thing. We don't need to talk about that. There's a lot of stuff with Sting that I love. They let him retire on top. Like he won that match. He retained his title, and he retired a champion. There are a lot of ways to retire, but for someone like Sting and someone like I'm not a Cena fan. But retiring him that way made no sense.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Whoa.
His whole career was never give up. Why is he tapping to end his career?
I think that's the magic of this, and I love Sting here too. And I'm glad I like the way he did the match. Was good. I didn't like that Darby spot. Everything else was fine.
The glass was
for
ridiculous.
Cena,
yeah.
For Cena, for me, the
Mental,
only thing that killed it for Cena is that he wasn't there for it was just Gunther carrying that rivalry for me. But Cena tapping out was perfect. I had the perfect ending for me because it was like ironic that the guy that never gave up finally has to give up because it's like if Cena were to win, Gunther it flushed down the toilet. It does no good for him. If Gunther wins, the only reason that there was so much negativity is because all these fans, for the last 10 years of, I will say 5 years of Cena and the 9 matches in the 10-year span that he was in Hollywood, all the people were just butthurt about that, in my feeling. And I think for me, it's like, it was a good ending. It was like even the smile before he taps out or after he tapped out with Cena, he even himself knew it was like a good gesture. And that whole rivalry just sucked because Cena wasn't there, and that was my biggest gripe because I know he said in an interview that he wanted to do the 300 plus dates, and they basically told him no. And that was also the fault of the company and the fault of that whole creative and company. And it was just goofy because I'm like, the year previous, Cena's like, I cleared out my schedule and I'm available for the whole year for my final year. And the TK or the company just basically gave him 100 dates, and he did his 100 dates, and that was it. But I thought the match was perfect and how it ended. I wish we saw Cena do more because it was his last match. I wanted it. I'm glad he did the top rope leg drop because I'm like, oh, there you go. And you don't see him do that in so long.
I'll admit that. Yep.
And I wanted him to do hurricanranas and all sorts of stuff, but that's what's my only negative gripe because it's his last match. You know, you're not risking any injury or nothing because it's his final thing. It's final hurrah. But that's how I see it. That's why I disagree that it was a bad ending for him.
So I can't disagree with you. I just have one question.
Go ahead.
Wasn't the finish a chokehold?
Yes, it was the
The sleeper.
chokehold, and Cena kept trying to get the sleeper chokehold, and he's like trying to go to the
Okay.
rope, and then he got to it, pulled him back, and then he tried again, pulled him back, and he got up. He put him against the corner. Gunther took some damage, but got him back up. Cena didn't get up in time, and then Cena tried it one more time, and then you see that little smile, and then tap out, and then he lets
Okay.
him go, and he keeps him held up for a bit, and then lets go.
So okay, and that exactly is okay. So I remember that. So the reason why I ask is like if it's a chokehold and he went through all that, why not just have him pass out instead of tap
You
out?
know what? I would agree that him passing out would have also been really good because then it saves what you said, the never give up thing, and he passed out,
Exactly.
but he didn't actually give up, and that would have been good
They
too.
didn't.
I wouldn't have
That's my only thing.
cooked on it too, but yeah.
It would have been the same as-
Because
it would have been the same as Austin passing out in the sharpshooter.
exactly because he didn't give up. He passed out from
Right.
blood loss and whatever
Right.
and pain. And
Right.
that's where I thought they were going with Cena because he always never give up and it was always that. And honestly, with all of the energy that he exuded going through all of that with the chokehold, because Gunther had that thing on for a minute, that would have made sense for him to pass out. But that's where like the tap made no sense. He smiles and taps, and I watched it, dude. That's like one of the first times I sat down and went out of my way and watched the WWE match like in full. I watched the entrance, and I watched the matches beforehand and all that. And I'm sitting there watching it going, the fuck was that? So that's my only gripe because like it's a chokehold. It'd be one thing if it was a submission hold like the sharpshooter. You know, that a little different, but I like what they did with that one because they did that perfectly between Hart and Austin. But when it came to a chokehold, that just chokeholds are notorious for the arm drop, you know. So that's my thing where like they could have just done that instead of having him tap out and he could have kept his legacy. People would have been a lot happier because you know that I saw a lot of people being like, he's the no give up guy and he tapped out. So like so that was my thing. That was my only gripe with that.
Well, without further ado, I've enjoyed this time. I know we're very over that hour. I feel like I'm grateful that you guys are here. I just don't want to say that. I'm grateful that Jim, that you are now officially initiated into the podcast world of this Wrestle Launch channel.
Can't see it, but I'm bowing.
There you go. And I'm glad that Paul we were able to rekindle once again to reignite this pod again and turn it back into something joyful. And I hope that the listeners, if you made it this far, the Wrestle Launchers, I hope that's what I'll call some nerdy
Ooh,
nerdy
we got a
launchers.
name. We got a name.
Yeah, you guys got the Wrestle Launchers, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this and have made it this far, and I hope you guys enjoyed Paul's voice and the voice of wrestling, Jim, on that end neck of the woods too. With Jim, a huge thing that we do here is we do final words for the pod, so we'll give you the honors of final words if you have any final words for the video.
First of all, I just want to say thanks. I appreciate you guys for both you two for bringing me in and making me part of this, and anybody out there that, like you said, made it this far and has listened. You guys are all fantastic. I enjoy being able to be a part of something that puts out wrestling content for people like myself that enjoy going through different avenues to enjoy our content. So I just want to thank you and thank everybody out there for enjoying the content that we're doing because everybody should just enjoy wrestling. Tribalism is goofy. Wrestling is wrestling. Enjoy what you enjoy. Enjoy what you like. There are going to be people who don't enjoy the same thing that you enjoy, and that's okay. So all I say to everybody is please enjoy what you like. Even if other people don't enjoy it, just be happy with it and love wrestling because that's what it's about. And
Paul,
thank you.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I just want to say thank you.
Any words from you, Mr. Paul, the enforcer, the game?
No.
Our Arn Anderson.
Yes. Not really. I mean, I think we've covered quite a bit tonight. I am, again, very thankful for reconnecting with Sponge here and putting this back together. And then, I mean, I think it's amazing that we found Jim because I think he's got, with his background, of actually training and being an OVW. He's going to bring a lot to this channel. He's going to probably school me and Sponge a couple times.
I actually really look forward to going back and forth with you. I've been told that you're a bit of a wrestling historian, so am I. So I look forward to it. I'm happy to trade information.
I'm happy to learn from the both of you. Y'all have the knowledge. I am the learner. Hey, you know what? You guys have the learning tree.
I do like Chris Jericho. Not the learning tree Chris Jericho though. That was rough.
But without further ado, I appreciate you guys if you made it this far. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and great news, you can now argue with Paul on Twitter. Our Twitter is finally back up and whatever the hell was going on with Google. So if you want,
Out of jail.
follow on Wrestle Launch on Twitter, and you can argue with Paul. I will hand over all the information over to other people to be resourced. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share around to the wrestling world. I hope you guys. Thank you guys for listening. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.